OutKick's sit down. Happy to be joined by Tennessee pitcher Ben Joyce, who's made a bunch of headlines this season already, but coming off this past weekend and Tennessee's series win over Auburn. Ben, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Feeling good after the last weekend for sure. Ready to keep it going.
Hey, how does an arm feel coming off something like that? How long does it take you to kind of recover, maybe settle down?
Yeah, I felt really good yesterday and today. I mean, I haven't had too much soreness at all. Tossed a little bit yesterday. The arm felt good. Just kind of some normal soreness from pitching. But I mean, other than that, my arm felt great. I mean, I just feel like the way they've built me up this year is it's kind of helped me learn how to recover better. And I think now I've kind of mastered it a little bit. So I felt pretty good.
Hey, I want to start with something first. Coming out of Farragut High School and your path to get to Division One college baseball, can you kind of walk people through that? Because you go from Farragut, and then you're at Walters, and then you're dealing with Tommy John surgery. So just start me off at Farragut and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I mean, starting off my freshman year at Farragut, I mean, I barely made the team. I was a little tiny freshman throwing 65 miles an hour. So he kind of let me on the team just because of my work ethic, and he thought I might end up being something one day. And was on JV freshman and sophomore year. Didn't really play too much. Just kind of was pitching and playing a little bit in the field, just random positions. And then junior year, I made varsity, and I actually had some growth plate issues in my elbow and shoulder, just hitting a big growth spurt, and just I guess it was called like little league elbow, little league shoulder kind of thing. And then I battled through that for a little bit, and then senior year of high school, I finally was able to pitch, and I didn't really have much recruiting attention at all. So it was kind of our coach had a connection with Walter State, and I was lucky enough to be able to get in there and have 2 extra years to develop. So that was awesome. Had an injury at Walter State as well. Just continue with the growth plate stuff. I grew a lot the summer before my senior year, and it kind of I continued to have the growth plate issue. So that was a problem I was battling throughout high school, and then was able to pitch my second year at Walters and gain some attention from Tennessee. So that was kind of a dream come true. I've been a Tennessee fan my whole life. So.
Hey, dealing with those growth plate issues and not, you pitched a little bit, in high school, enough to get noticed, enough to get on junior college team. What was it like dealing with one injury in a sense and having to overcome that? And then also kind of explain maybe how that detoured from your game a little bit and you kind of had to reestablish your stuff getting into junior college.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I was never really able to kind of gain comfortableness, I guess would be a word, on the mound, and just kind of get into a rhythm, because I was having to battle through injuries my whole high school career. So I mean, going into Walter State, I kind of felt like I really didn't have much experience on the mound and much experience pitching in certain situations. So it led me to try to work even harder to get as many reps as I could and learn as much as I could while I was watching, so that when I did get on the mound and was healthy again, I would kind of know what to do, and I had seen the situations before. So I think it led me to work harder and also pay more attention off the field, just observing other people pitching.
Hey, besides growing up and being a Tennessee fan, what sparked you to go and play and stay here in Knoxville and be a part of this Tennessee baseball club?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the coaching staff, the energy that they bring every day is it's unmatched. I feel like in college baseball and really anywhere, and just the way that they treat the kids on the team, they'll do anything for any of the kids on the team, and it's really exciting to know that you have the best coaching staff in the country like having your back every day and every step of the way. They're always ready to help you whenever you need it. So I mean, I think the coaching staff was probably the biggest draw for me.
Ben, what is it about this team, man? There's something to it when you look at it and you're like, okay, they have star power, they have the players needed at every single position to maximize their ability and their talent. But there's also something else about this team. There's a swagger about this team. And I think maybe that rubs off from former coaching staff from last year, maybe when Ross was at Tennessee. And then you have now, you're going off what Tony V is doing as well. Talk to me about just this baseball team in general.
Yeah, I mean the energy and the vibes every day are unreal. I mean, I've never had a coach who puts off as much energy as Coach V does, and we kind of feed off him, and I think he feeds off us. And I mean, this team is so close. Like it's the closest team I've ever been on. Just we know anyone on this team would do anything for another guy on the team, and I mean, it gives you a lot of confidence knowing that the guys behind you will do anything for you and make a play for you if you need it or pick you up if you have a bad day. So I just think we kind of just feed off of each other's energy, and it's just going to continue to go for the rest of the year.
We're going to get back to that just a little bit later, but I want to talk about the Tommy John surgery that you had. And for folks, walk through that process of having Tommy John surgery and then having to work your way back, rehab, everything that goes into that, just to be able to try and pitch again because you don't know if it's going to work out or not. Walk me through that process and how that was for you and getting to where you're at right now with that arm.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I'd finally made it to Tennessee, and I was excited to pitch, and then I had to get shut down again with Tommy John. So it was a tough couple months for sure. I mean, I first got the surgery in October of, I guess it would have been 2020,
Yeah.
and then I mean, the first couple months were really just trying to get the range of motion back. So it was kind of just sitting there trying to. The trainers were trying to keep my morale up and try to keep me going. But I mean, I think having the support staff around me was great, and Woody, the trainer, was awesome, helped me through that whole thing. And I really just tried to, in those couple months, just tried to get as strong as I could and as fast as I could. And I think a big focus for me was mobility because I think that led to my injury in the first place, just not having the mobility to put my arm in certain positions that it needs to be in. So, I mean, I was grinding probably as hard as I could for the last 17, 18 months. So I think it's finally seeing it pay off is awesome, and it's really a relief to know that I'm kind of back to where I was before and maybe even a little better. So.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But so when you're hitting triple digits, okay, and then you're doing this during the game, you're focused on everything that's going on. You're not worried about a radar gun. When you get to the dugout and somebody tells you, "Hey man, you hit 105,"
Mhm.
what is that? What's that like? I mean that's just straight fire. So I'm interested. That's something major leaguers can't do, and I'm not trying to we're not trying to compare and whatnot, but you look at it and you look how fast you were throwing the ball, Ben, but you seem to do it so consistently, which is what I think people kind of underestimate or don't know about you. Walk me through that, man. Triple digits, 105.5. I mean, it's just crazy numbers.
Yeah, I mean, coming back from Tommy John, I kind of, whenever I first started throwing off the mound, I hit 100 a few times, and I was like, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, I'm throwing pretty hard, and then it just kind of continued to keep going up as I got stronger and faster and more comfortable on the mound. So, and then I mean, on Sunday, I was pretty locked in on Sunday. I think that was probably the most like focused I've been for a game in my life. So it was exciting to know that the hard work was paying off, and I was seeing those results. And then right before the ninth inning, Jared Dickey actually was like, "Hey man, why don't you try to break the record? You're pretty close." I didn't know like what he was even. I didn't even know what he meant at the time. Like I was just kind of like not even focusing on that. But and then after the game, I heard 105.5, and that was a pretty crazy feeling for sure. It was. I mean, it was a big kind of. It felt like a huge accomplishment after kind of what I went through the last year. So it was awesome feeling.
It seems like your teammates kind of jumped aboard right after the game, ripping off
Oh
the
yeah.
jerseys and whatnot, having fun. I mean, what's going on in the locker room when you hit 105.5? I mean, that conversation's got to be fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was exciting just how excited they got, and I mean, I like I said, we're so close. Like everyone was super happy for me, and that was an awesome feeling. Just kind of having the guys there and celebrating that one. And I mean, the huddle in the outfield, they ripped my jersey off and wouldn't give it back to me, so they were all like getting pretty hype out there. So it was fun for sure, and I'll probably never forget that experience. It was a pretty fun day.
How much do you get after? Tony Vitello's mentioned in the past that Blade was coming after him a little, and wanting to get back in the rotation, pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. For you, is how much of a role change do you think, you know, you established this past weekend going out, throwing the 4 innings that you did, being able to stay out there, you know, consistently? Because there hasn't been a moment where you've kind of gone that long in a sense. So you kind of established yourself and said, hey, look, I can do this. What does that mean confidence wise for you in the future, knowing that the coaching staff is aware of that now?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me confidence kind of knowing that I'm really over that hump in the recovery. And I mean, I trust the way that they kind of brought me back. I know they've had plenty of cases like this with Tommy John, and Coach Anderson's great, and Coach V's great with making sure everything's good and we're playing our best baseball in May and June. So I mean, the way that he handled it was perfect, and I'm not going to question any decision he makes, because I mean, he's the head guy, and he knows what he's doing. He's won a lot of games, so he's done a lot for me, and I'm not going to question what he says. But I mean, hopefully, I gained the confidence, and I mean, I know I gained the confidence in myself, and that was kind of one of the big things coming back, is just kind of getting as comfortable as I could and gaining that confidence in my pitching again.
You kind of poke him a little bit, though, kind of nudge him every now and then.
Maybe I'll give him a glare every now and then or something, but no, he's great, and he's done a lot for me. So I mean, I'm with his decision every step of the way, whatever he wants to do.
Hey, this baseball team, Ben, just overall, you know, the total wins that you guys are at right now, what you guys have been able to do in the SEC, number one in the country. We see how everything is reacted on game day. But how do you guys keep yourself in the moment? How do you guys talk to each other and be like, okay, look, we're not. I know we get heated during the games, and I know it might come off some way to some people, but also this baseball team has to have a lot of leaders and has to have a core group if you're staying and playing the way that you guys are. How do y'all guys manage those expectations of what y'all do on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach V is kind of the leader there. He's always talking about the next task, and not getting too high emotionally or too low emotionally. It's a long season with a lot of games, and you got to kind of keep a neutral head there. And I mean, Evan Russell, Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck, they've all been there and done a lot here. So you kind of have that older experience, and then some fire from the younger guys. So it's kind of a good balance, and we just love going out and playing baseball with each other every day. I mean, every chance we get to go out is a good one. So I think it's just kind of we're always kind of focused on the next thing ahead of us and not trying to get too high or too low. And I think that's really helped us a lot.
Okay, honest question from here. Does it bother you? Does it ignite you? Does it get you going to see other fan bases go after Tennessee in a sense, and even their fans, or even, you know, what happens on the field? Because you guys seem to bring some kind of extra juice to the field every game, and I'm not saying another team doesn't have their own way of doing that, but you guys feel like it's kind of like carefree. You guys are going out there playing sandlot ball and just having fun while you're doing it, but you also have an interesting persona about the baseball team. How do you manage that? Do you care at all? I guess is the best question.
No, I mean, we don't really care. We're kind of we're going out there and playing baseball, doing our thing, and having fun with it. So if people are going to be mad about that, that's up to them, you know. So I mean, we have great fans at Tennessee, and we love to go out there and play for each other and play for our fans. So it's kind of that's not really something we think about, to be honest.
Hey, what is a couple more questions? I really appreciate you joining. Oh, your aspirations, you know, going forward from here. I know you're letting the season play out, but what's a dream scenario for you? Do you have a dream team in mind that you would love to play for one day down the road? You know, who did you grow up rooting for?
I grew up a Pittsburgh fan. I mean, both my parents are from Pittsburgh, so I'm a Pittsburgh fan in every sport. But I mean, in regards to Major League Baseball, I'm kind of just whoever picks me, and whoever thinks that whoever gives me my shot, I'm gonna be cheering for them now. So it's kind of I don't really think too much about that. I'm trying to kind of focus on the season ahead and win a national championship. But I mean, after that, it's exciting to think that I could play professional baseball and then eventually build up a professional career. So I mean, I do think about it, but I'm kind of trying to stay focused on where I'm at now.
Ben, well, how are Tony Vitello's musical choices during practice? Does he have any say over that, or is that a player's thing?
He does a little bit. He loves the like EDM music, kind of like high energy music. He's always bouncing around and we'll do fly ball communication and stuff, and he's blaring the music and getting into it. So it's pretty fun to see, and it's fun to. All the practices are a good time for sure.
Tony Vitello, an EDM fan. That does not surprise me, that actually.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, when we're looking at it right now, and you've got a certain amount of games left here in the SEC regular season, and they're going to be tournament, regionals, whatnot. What is the mindset of the baseball team right now? You guys have an opportunity, and not looking ahead, but to put your stamp on the Southeastern Conference over the next 2 weeks. What is it going to take for you guys to stay focused and keep leading down that path towards, SEC tournament, regionals, and so on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just kind of have to take it one game at a time and not get too caught up in the record or just kind of what's next with the SEC tournament and all that. Just kind of, I mean, our next focus is tonight. We got a game against Alabama A&M, and then Thursday we're playing Kentucky. So just kind of got to keep taking it one game at a time, or as Coach V says, focus on the next task. So just not get too high or too low, like I said earlier, and just continue to play baseball with each other and have fun doing it. So I think if we just continue to do what we've been doing, we're going to have a good rest of the year.
Last question: are you going to try to get above 105.5, or you going to try to level that off a little bit?
Oh yeah, I'm always trying to keep going up as much as I can and keep pushing it. So we'll see.
That's fantastic. Ben Joyce, thanks so much for joining, man. Good luck the rest of the season. We appreciate you. Keep throwing flames, buddy.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.